or fighting against oppression might make us happy and bring us joy, the correct greeting given to us by the comrades who created it is Black August Resistance. And I bring that greeting to you all on behalf of the New African Independence Movement, the New African People's Organization, and the Malcolm X Grassroots Movement. So again, we greet you all with a Black August Resistance and Free the Land. And we are again out here celebrating, not celebrating, but commemorating the month of Black August. And this particular day is of particular importance because we lost our general this day. That it was this day in 1971 that George Jackson, the Dragon, was assassinated by prison guards. And so we're so excited to be here with all of you all today as we are about the purpose of what Black August is about, which is to rejuvenate, rebuild our liberation struggle using the four principles and practices given to us. And our first practice is fast. Can y'all say fast? Fast. And that means that we are making a sacrifice. That what do we need to say no to for our greater yes, for our greater good? So we're in the practice of fasting. Some of us, we haven't eaten since the sun came up, and we won't eat till the sun comes down. And that practice comes from the Black Muslims who are part of the original set of folks who developed Black August. And this idea that we know in prison they didn't have access to food. They were poisoned in their food, and so the fasting was a way to protect them and to protect their diet and themselves. The second one is study. Can I hear a study? And that's right, we need to be studying the works of George Jackson, right? Blood in our eye. Now we need to be studying the history of our resistance. We need to be teaching this to our children. So many times we are taught in schools that we didn't resist, that we didn't fight back, and that Black August is about learning to study our resistance, to learn those lessons so that we can advance our struggle for a new day. Is that right? Then our third principle is train. Can I hear a train? And what we mean there is that we have to physically prepare ourselves, that we have to train, we have to exercise, we have to get fit for the fight. So I'm going to ask y'all to do some jumping jacks with me. Y'all ready? No? All right. But we should be in the process of not only rebuilding our bodies, but rebuilding our movement, and that we need to be training together, we need to be exercising together, we need to be building our collective will to struggle together and to struggle for our liberation. And then our last principle is the principle of fight. Can I hear a fight? And that's what we're doing here today, right? We are building a fight to not only to abolish prisons, but also to free them all and to free all political prisoners. Is that right? And so specifically, I'm here to talk about the campaign to free Dr. Mutulu Shakur. Can I get a free Mutulu? A free Mutulu? A free Mutulu? How many of y'all know who Mutulu is, Dr. Mutulu Shakur is? All right, so I can save the brief political bio and just get to the point. And that is that Mutulu needs to be free. He needs to be free immediately, as of right now. Right now. Right now. He has served his sentence, and the Federal Bureau of Prisons refuses to let him go. He's been denied probation hearing 9 times. 9 times he's been denied probation by the Federal Bureau of Prisons. And so we've decided that we need to escalate our demands. Right. That we can no longer wait for a Bureau of Prisons to grant freedom, that we need to build a grassroots movement on self-determination, for self-defense, for self-respect, that has the power to be able to compel the Biden administration to free Mutulu. That's right. Is that right? That's right. So free Mutulu. Free Mutulu. But we're not done. But we're not done, because if you understand, the call is to free them all. Mutulu and 5 other political prisoners represent what's called federal old law prisoners. Can y'all say old law? Old law. And that's been a sentencing kind of guidelines that's been abolished by the federal government, but they are still continuing to hold Mutulu and these 5 other political prisoners who, very much like Mutulu, have been denied parole numerous times and have almost exhausted their appeal to the Bureau of Prisons. So they need to be released too. In addition to that, there are 200 other of our people who have been also being held under these continued old federal guidelines. They are also old law prisoners. And so we not only demand freedom for Mutulu, we demand freedom for those 5 political prisoners, as well as the 200 of our brothers and sisters who are still locked in or held under old law federal guidelines. And so we say corrective clemency for them all. Can I get a corrective clemency for them all?
Corrective clemency for them all.
That's right. And then our last demand is just our principle of our organization, right? That we demand the immediate release of all political prisoners, political exiles, and prisoners of war. And that we must continue to build and struggle with each other. This day is a good start. 50 years after the assassination of the dragon, they thought that they would put out the light. They thought that they would put out the fire that George Jackson had lit in many of our hearts and our minds. And we're here to say that that is not true, that the spirit of the dragon lives, that Black August resistance lives, that we will continue to resist, and we will continue to fight till we free them all and free the land. Thank you all so very much.
Thank you, bro.
Free the land.
Free the land.
All right. Thank you, brother. Thank you. Appreciate you.